All right, so I want to quickly go over a couple more types of canvases. So as you guys can see here, I have a dynamic paint simulation set up. I'm going to go ahead and press play. I have a cube and I have my canvas. The cube is the brush, the canvas is the plane. If I press play and I grab my cube and I move it, you can see that I can add some waves to my plane and it looks really cool, just as we've learned before. However, there's other types of displacement and there's other types of canvases as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my canvas. Now you'll see right here we have our type, our surface type is waves. I'm going to go ahead and back this up to frame 1. I'm going to change this type to displace. Now what displace does is it displaces something. So it basically moves it up or down depending on how an object interacts with it. So when our cube touches our surface, instead of creating a wave, like almost a shockwave effect, we're actually going to see it basically just affect the plane once, and it's not going to ripple out. It's basically just going to affect it once. I'll go ahead and press play and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to click on the cube, and then after I press spacebar to play my simulation, I'm going to press G to move the cube around. So let's go ahead and press spacebar. Let's move our cube around, and as you can see, I'm moving into our plane here. Let me go ahead and pause it. Right? I'm moving into the plane, but nothing's rippling. So even if I press play again and I move this around, you can see it's affecting our plane, right? It's almost carving into the plane, but it's not affecting it like it would an ocean or a body of water. So that is basically what displace does. It allows you to displace the plane or the object that you're trying to carve into. I'll show you another quick example with a cube or something like a sphere. So let's go ahead and delete our original object, which is going to be our plane. I'm going to go ahead and add in a UV sphere, scale it down just a little bit. Now, after I have my sphere, I'm going to add a dynamic paint canvas. Click on Add Canvas, switch the type to Displace, go back to frame 1. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play and I'm going to move my cube. And as you can see, I'm cutting into my sphere. Go ahead and on a top-down view so you can really see this. As you can see, I'm cutting into my sphere. And I've actually cut into it so much that it begins to become almost its own sculpture. And this is really cool if you want to carve into rock or have maybe a car tire go through mud or something like that. You can also create sort of a memory foam effect similar to our regular canvas type, which is waves. However, it's not going to bounce back. So this is when you want to create a permanent movement in your canvas. Okay, that means you want to actually carve into the canvas. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and play this a little bit more so you can see the effect. As you can see, I'm carving away at this canvas. And as it restarts, remember, it's going to completely reset. So if I let this go all the way to frame 250, it's going to reset this. So just watch. Notice how it was reset? And that's because nothing's animated. I'm just moving this around as is. And it's always going to reset on frame 1. So just keep that in mind as you build out your simulations. Now what's really cool is you can kind of see the effect as I just really move this cube around. Remember, the more detailed you want to get, you can just subdivide. So I'm going to click on my sphere, tab into edit mode, right click, subdivide it a few times. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this simulation back one more time so you can see just how detailed this carving can get. I'm going to press play. I'm going to move my cube around. And now look how much more detailed that is. Now just to show you one more time, I'm going to delete my cube, go all the way back to frame 1. I'm going to add in a sphere, and this is going to be a smoother object for us to cut into. Click on Dynamic Paint, and we're going to choose Brush. I'm going to click on Add Brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and press play, and I'm going to go ahead and carve into it with a sphere now. You can see just how much of a different effect you can get. Dynamic Paint is so powerful. This is just the very beginning of some of the steps you can take to create amazing animations and effects within your 3D artwork. Let's go over the next surface type, which is going to be paint.